What's up, world? Let me tell you about this beard growth oil I got from 12 tribes on Earth. 8 ounces of oily goodness with a nozzle that prevents sprays and spills, and soft ingredients that make it perfect addition to anyone's morning routine. From coconut to castor, all these oils are hand chosen. After using this herbal blend, the biggest thing I noticed is how soft, how strong my hair was, and how good I feel. Pick up your bottle today and make your beard the star of the show.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, we're going to talk about big oil CEOs recently came out to warn the American public that we are running out of oil and it's not much of a supply left. And, I don't know if any of you notice, but the U.S. is no longer bombing Iran. They have not bombed Iran in probably over a week. And the reason why? They ran out of munition. They don't have no ammo. So they can't bomb them. So, y'all, man, this whole thing is just crazy. The situation America's in. And, you'll hear some of the CEOs, they all came out, ConocoPhillips, Shell. They all came out and said there's really not much oil supply left in the U.S. And the Straits of Hormuz is still not open. Now, Donald Trump is back on that, peace deal crap. And, I really think nobody's even paying attention because he said that so often, and then either they would have some deal and then all of a sudden the fighting would resume again. And I think now people are at the point they don't even want to hear the mess no more. They don't want to hear it. But the U.S. is out of ammo. They're in a real bad situation. And, there's nobody in charge that can make things better. We already know that. So this is going to be a major blow if it's true that the U.S. is almost out of oil. I don't know what they're going to do because it will literally shut down the whole country. Gas is made from oil. And I think the barrel of oil is up to $112 a barrel. So, oh well. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
We are knocking on the door of what President Trump told us he was trying to avoid, which is the world literally running out of oil. And just today, before we started, the Houthis, which big ally of Iran, so just to come back here and re-show the map, remember I said that once the Strait of Hormuz became shut down, there was 2 million of barrels coming out every day through for the UAE, coming out through Fujairah, and then 4 to 5 million coming out from Saudi Arabian oil going out to the Red Sea. And this is the port there at the Red Sea. Well, the Houthis have just shut this down literally today.
Oh, really?
Literally before we came on. It happened about 6 hours ago. This has been escalating for several weeks. Iran's been asking for this. This is part of the general escalation that we're seeing.
Okay, so we've got the Strait of Hormuz closed. We've got the Houthis closing
The Red
Red Sea, so there's no oil flowing through there.
Yeah.
So are we on the verge of an economic crisis if things don't change quickly?
The CEO of Shell, one of the 4 largest oil companies on earth, just issued a direct warning to governments, saying that the United States has less than 24 days of diesel left. This is not his prediction. This is a warning because these are actual numbers. I want to show you something. Look at this right here. It says Shell CEO's blunt message as gas and diesel face new squeeze. Refiners are prioritizing jet fuel, producing about 20% more of it in Shell's global portfolio. Okay, what is going on? Well, this is what you need to know. Okay, look at this right here. This is what gas prices are today. Okay, this is according to AAA gas prices. It says right here for just an average fuel for a gallon of gas, $4.09 here in the U.S. on August 3rd. Okay, we're not here to talk about gas. Okay, I'll talk about regular gasoline. We're here to talk about diesel. Well, here it is. Diesel prices as of today are $5.36, which they were yesterday as well. A week ago, they were $5.29. However, a year ago, before this Iran war, they were $3.73. Then they went up to $4.81. This was a month ago. And obviously, we are now up over 50 cents from a month, okay, a month ago. This is concerning. It's extremely concerning because if the United States has just 24 days left of diesel, that's the lowest we have been since 2008. You probably remember the crisis that we faced in 2008. But I want to read you some key statistics, some facts here. Listen to this, okay? Diesel rose from $3 and about 56 cents. Okay, this is what it was before this Iran war, $3.56. Okay, that was on February 28th. Then it went up. It was a 40-some% spike. All right, to over $5 a gallon. Diesel futures are up 20% since early July alone. We are expecting diesel prices are going to continue to go up. Okay, which means anything that is transported is going to become more expensive due to shipping costs alone. I want to read you something else, okay? The U.S. diesel inventories are below the 5-year average. We have no cushion. There's no cushion here, okay? Diesel prices are up 51%. They're higher by 51% in Q2 versus January through February, okay? This is according to CEO of a logistics company. Now, here's another.
We are about to enter a major fuel squeeze here soon regarding diesel and gasoline. So if you thought it was over, it is not. And it is about to get a lot worse, according to the CEO of Shell, Wael Sawan.
The U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It's the emergency oil stockpile, and it runs out, allegedly, in less than 80 days. Right now, releasing oil from that reserve is what's been keeping our gas prices from going so much higher. It's been the absorbing shock of this Hormuz being closed, right? But once it runs out, there's nothing left to cushion the prices. So oil prices will go up. Inflation goes up. And so investors are like, okay, pay me more money. Short-term rates go up and bond investors are like, well, if inflation's going at 4.2%, I want more than that to lend you my money. Otherwise, why would I? So their master plan does not work without an Iran deal. So when you hear Trump say that he's working on this deal, what he's actually saying is, we need to reopen the Strait of Hormuz right away before the SPR runs out, before oil goes up, before the bond market breaks, before Kevin Warsh can't cut rates anymore, before the whole plan to QE but not really QE dies. The Iran deal is the most important part of this puzzle.
A critical oil cushion Rapidly shrinking. America's Strategic Petroleum Reserve, or SPR, now at its lowest level in more than 40 years. Just 311 million barrels of crude remain in the SPR, about half of where we were just 4 years ago. And it's 100 million barrels lower than in March, with tens of millions more still to be let go after the Trump administration authorized a mass release to help contain the oil price shock from the war with Iran.
It's one of the largest releases that we've seen in recent history.
Energy analyst Jorge Leon calls the SPR an emergency oil insurance policy.
It remains vital as a national interest asset in order to protect U.S. consumers from fluctuations in oil prices.
The SPR was first created after the 1970s energy crisis to help protect Americans when global supply disruptions sent oil and gas prices higher. The idea is that reserves let out into the market helps keep prices in check. But the emergency supply running low doesn't just impact the ability to react to shocks. Energy officials say years of large drawdowns, including the massive release during the Biden administration after Russia invaded Ukraine, have taken a toll on the aging salt caverns and infrastructure that store the oil. Republican Congressman Thomas Massey saying recently, if we use much more of it to mask the cost of wars, we risk collapsing the salt caverns that hold it. The White House responding to our request for comment, saying the administration, quote, exchange the barrels for lower cost barrels that will be delivered back to the SPR. With the Department of Energy adding the move could potentially save taxpayer dollars. Even with the reserve at a 40-year low, experts say the U.S. isn't as vulnerable to an energy crisis as it used to be, thanks in large part to the shale boom.
The shale revolution has turned the U.S. into the world's largest crude producer, and its reliance on crude imports have plummeted in the last few years.
And there's another reason oil prices haven't climbed even higher. China, the world's largest crude importer, slashed its oil purchases during the war, choosing to draw from its own stockpiles instead.
China was a shock absorber. If China would have continued buying crude at its normal rate, we could have seen prices peaking closer to $170 per barrel.
Even as the conflict seems to fire back up, with stockpiles so low right now, the next chapter likely won't be about releasing more emergency oil. It'll be about buying it all back. And that could keep oil prices higher for longer.
All right, y'all. You know, once again, America is always in a dilemma, and it's always going to be that way. Man, if you haven't learned no lesson in your life, you should have learned these Gentiles can't run a dog kennel. They can't. And the war and everything going on right now is the proof. They can't run nothing. They can't even blame us because we are not in charge. They can't blame us at all. So we shall see what happens. We shall see. I mean, it seems counterproductive for them to open the Strait of Hormuz because it never stays open more than 24 hours after any type of agreement. It's like they open it and not even a day goes by and they close it again. So this is America, y'all. You know what we got to do? We got to look out for ourselves. And, you know, if you're able to stock up on things, then make sure you do it. Because this place is completely unreliable. So, y'all, thank you for being here. I will have one more upcoming live today. And I'm going to go listen to Queen Amadaya. I heard she feels like she cracked the case on Nolan Wells. So I might check that out. So y'all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Don't forget to pick up your hair products. And I'll see you on my next live. Shalom, family.